Imagine this. You're just another traveler in line, clutching your boarding pass, maybe a little sweaty because you rushed to the gate. To you, it's just nerves. But to them, the TSA officers, it might look like you're hiding something. That's the unsettling truth. TSA isn't just scanning your bags, they're scanning you. Every blink, every tremble, every shaky smile is part of a hidden system designed to catch liars, but it can just as easily trap ordinary passengers like you. And that's just the beginning. Because behind the gray bins and body scanners, there's a whole playbook of TSA secrets they'll never announce over the loudspeaker. Secrets that explain why some travelers sail through security while others are yanked aside, why your belongings sometimes vanish, and why your confiscated stuff doesn't just disappear. Today, I'm exposing 10 TSA secrets they do not want you to know. And the first one is the creepiest of them all. Secret 1. You're already being profiled and you can't stop it. Long before your bag rolls through the scanner, TSA officers are already judging you. They use something called SPOT, screening of passengers by observation techniques. Sounds scientific, right? In reality, it's a psychological profiling game. They're trained to spot suspicious behavior. Darting eyes, nervous fidgeting, avoiding eye contact, even sweating. Here's the kicker, those are the exact things most normal people do in an airport. You've felt it before, that jittery mix of stress, rush, and please don't let me hold up the line. To TSA, that can look like guilt. The danger? You could be flagged as a threat simply for being human. This isn't guesswork. Thousands of officers nationwide are drilled in this. The unsettling part? Even TSA admits that nervous flyers often get treated like criminals. You could be pulled aside, questioned, or worse, all because your palms sweat under fluorescent lights. It's not about what's in your bag, it's about what's on your face. Secret 2, the hidden codes on your boarding pass. That innocent little slip of paper you clutch so tightly, it might already be working against you. TSA agents often scribble strange symbols or stamp discrete codes on boarding passes, and most travelers never notice. Sometimes it's harmless, just a timestamp or officer initials, but other times, it's a red flag you'll regret. If you ever spot the dreaded SESSS on your pass, secondary security screening selection, you've been marked, and not in a casual, oh it's random kind of way. This code means you're walking straight into extra scrutiny. Bag swabs, pat-downs, probing questions like did you pack your own luggage, or why did you buy this ticket last minute? And here's the unsettling truth. That code can appear for reasons as simple as booking a one-way international flight, buying a ticket too close to departure, or just being randomly selected by the system. Once flagged, there's no fast escape. You're at the mercy of TSA's suspicion, and every answer you give is weighed like a potential confession. It's like being pulled into a quiet interrogation room, except you're standing in front of hundreds of people praying you don't miss your flight. And remember, those scribbles, they don't vanish. They trail you through every checkpoint officer until you're finally cleared or delayed. Secret 3, TSA agents might be talking about you or stealing from you. Here's the ugly side no traveler wants to believe. Sometimes the very people trusted to protect us are the ones crossing the line. Back in 2019, investigators uncovered a private Facebook group called TSA Break Room with nearly 18,000 current and former employees. Inside, posts mocking passengers, using offensive nicknames, and even wishing harm on travelers. Imagine being the butt of a joke while you're just trying to get through security with your dignity intact. But it doesn't stop at words. Multiple cases have shown TSA agents caught red-handed, literally stealing from passengers. At Miami International Airport, 2 officers were filmed distracting travelers at the bins while slipping valuables out of bags. Phones, cash, jewelry, gone in seconds. And those are only the ones we know about. How many others quietly got away with it? Think about the chaos of the security line. You're untying shoes, peeling off a jacket, fumbling with your laptop, trying to remember where you stuffed your passport. Meanwhile, your valuables roll out of sight in those gray bins, sitting exposed, waiting for someone opportunistic to pounce. Sometimes it's a thief behind you, other times it's the agent in front of you. The irony is chilling. The place meant to protect you may also be the place where you're most vulnerable. Secret 4, security bins, a thief's paradise. Picture this. You're juggling shoes, belt, jacket, liquids, laptop, passport, phone, shoving them into those identical gray bins. They slide away into the X-ray tunnel, and suddenly you're half-dressed, barefoot, distracted by an officer barking, "Step forward." Meanwhile, your valuables are already out of your sight. This is the prime hunting ground for theft. Why? Because the first items into the scanner come out first on the other side and sit there unattended the longest. A distracted traveler, a split-second grab. Your wallet, watch, or phone could vanish before you even reach the belt. And here's the sinister twist. Sometimes the thieves aren't fellow passengers, they're the officers themselves. At Miami, cameras caught TSA employees literally lifting items out of bins mid-screening. Those cases made the news. The others? They slipped through unreported, leaving passengers baffled at how they must have lost it. So how do you fight back? One of the smartest hacks is wearing a jacket with multiple zippered pockets. Before you even hit the bins, tuck your passport, phone, and wallet inside, then toss the whole jacket in. That way, everything's locked together, hidden, and far less tempting for wandering hands. Airports are built on the illusion of order, but in those bins, it's chaos. And chaos is where predators thrive. Secret 5. TSA won't take responsibility for your belongings. Here's a nightmare scenario. You follow every instruction, unload your bag, survive the pat-down, and finally get through the line, only to realize something's missing. Maybe it's cash, maybe it's your headphones, maybe it's a family keepsake. You confront TSA expecting answers, but what you get instead is a cold shrug. Because here's the brutal truth. TSA accepts zero liability unless you can prove their agent personally caused the loss. And good luck proving that in a crowded checkpoint where dozens of people touch the same bins. Even when there are known cases of theft or damage, most claims vanish into paperwork limbo. And if your item gets confiscated, don't assume it's destroyed. That's where it gets shady. By law, TSA holds items for 30 days, but after that, they don't just toss them. Many are shipped off to government surplus warehouses, auctioned online, or resold through sites like govdeals.com. So, yes, your expensive lighter, Swiss Army knife, or souvenir blade could end up in the hands of a stranger who snagged it for a fraction of the price. Meanwhile, you walk away empty-handed, powerless to stop it. It's a quiet, legal pipeline of travelers' forbidden items being flipped into someone else's treasure. The system protects them, not you. Secret 6. TSA has less power than you think. Here's the twist. While TSA agents can bark orders, swab your bag, and make you sweat bullets in line, their actual authority is far more limited than most passengers realize. TSA officers are not police. They can't arrest you. They can't force you to unlock your phone or hand over your laptop password. They can't even make you drop your passport into a bin. You're legally allowed to keep it in your hand through the scanner. Their real job is enforcing compliance with the screening process, making sure bags are scanned, passengers are cleared, and alarms are checked. If something suspicious pops up, like drugs or contraband, they can't slap on cuffs. Instead, they have to call in airport police, who hold the real power. But here's the unsettling part. Even with these limits, TSA once pushed boundaries in ways that made passengers feel completely exposed. When full-body scanners first appeared, they showed nearly naked images of travelers, every curve, every detail, right there on a screen for officers to see. Privacy concerns exploded, and by 2013, those invasive machines were replaced with cartoon-like outlines that hide sensitive details. Still, that legacy sticks. Thousands of passengers unknowingly walked through scanners that revealed everything. And while today's machines are safer, the fact remains, you always have the right to refuse a scanner and request a pat-down instead. It's uncomfortable, sure, but it's your choice, not theirs. The irony? TSA feels all-powerful, yet the law keeps them on a shorter leash than most of us ever knew. Secret 7. Your pat-down rights are stronger than you realize. Most passengers freeze up when they hear the words, "Step aside for a pat-down." The scene feels humiliating. Arms out, strangers watching, hands moving over your body. But here's the truth. TSA doesn't advertise. You actually hold far more control in that moment than you think. If you're selected for a pat-down, you can demand it be done in private instead of out in the open. You're also entitled to have a companion or witness join you, And yes, you can insist that the officer be the same gender as you. Don't like how it's going? You can stop the process at any time and request a supervisor. Even something as small as asking the officer to change their gloves before touching you is completely within your rights. Of course, if you push back, the agent may roll their eyes or act annoyed. But annoyance isn't authority. These rights are written into TSA procedure. They just don't go out of their way to tell you. For many travelers, simply knowing they can reclaim some dignity makes all the difference. You're not powerless in that spotlight. You just need to remember that the rules cut both ways. Secret 8. Your checked luggage isn't safe from TSA eyes. You wave goodbye to your suitcase at the check-in counter, watch it vanish on the conveyor belt, and assume the next time you'll see it is at baggage claim. But behind the scenes, TSA might already be tearing into it. By law, every single checked bag on a commercial flight is screened. If scanners or detection dogs raise even the slightest suspicion, your suitcase gets pulled aside for a manual inspection. That means an agent can unzip your bag, dig through your belongings, and yes, even cut locks if they're not TSA approved. If you've wrapped your luggage in plastic, they'll slice it open. In theory, TSA should always leave a notice slip inside your bag informing you it was searched. But many travelers report opening their luggage to find broken locks, missing items, and no explanation. Was it an officer ignoring protocol, or someone else who got their hands inside? You'll never really know. Here's the unsettling number. TSA admits roughly 5% of checked bags require manual inspection. 5 out of every 100 suitcases pried open by strangers. And once it's out of sight, your bag is fair game for anyone who has access. Your best defense? Use TSA-approved locks, keep valuables and carry-on, and always check for that inspection note. If it's missing and something feels off, report it immediately. Because once that zipper closes, the trail of accountability gets very, very thin. Secret 9. Confiscated items don't just vanish, they're sold. Here's the dirty little secret most travelers never learn. When TSA takes your belongings, they don't simply toss them in the trash. That sleek lighter, Swiss Army knife, or expensive souvenir blade, it often ends up in a government surplus auction. Confiscated items are held for 30 days, then shipped off to warehouses, sold through sites like govdeals.com, or dumped into state-run surplus stores, which means your loss becomes someone else's bargain. Imagine watching a stranger walk out with your $200 item for $15, all because one officer decided it wasn't safe. And don't think this is rare. Thousands of items are seized every day across U.S. airports. That pipeline feeds directly into a system that profits off your mistakes. They don't call it theft, they call it policy. But either way, you're left standing barefoot at the scanner while your property quietly turns into government revenue. It's legal, yes. Fair? You decide. Secret 10. The rules are built to confuse you. Now here's the finale, the one that sparks the most anger. TSA officers have enormous discretion. What passes through at one airport might get seized at another. A perfectly legal item on the TSA website could still be taken if one officer decides it's suspicious. The result? Chaos disguised as order. One traveler sails through with a certain item while another loses the exact same thing. There's no appeals desk, no customer service hotline to get your property back before your flight. Just the blunt reality. Whatever they say, goes. This inconsistency is what leaves travelers fuming. Because the rules aren't just strict, they're unpredictable. And unpredictability is the ultimate trap. It keeps you off balance, it keeps you scared of making a mistake, and it ensures TSA always has the upper hand. So while they're not police, while their power is limited on paper, the confusion itself becomes their weapon. And passengers are the ones who pay the price, sometimes in wasted time, sometimes in lost items, always in frustration. Let's rewind. TSA isn't just scanning your bags, they're profiling you, marking secret codes, and sometimes even mocking or stealing from passengers. Your valuables can vanish at the bins, your checked bag can be sliced open, and confiscated items don't disappear, they get resold. And the kicker? The rules aren't consistent, they're designed to keep you off balance. But when you know these secrets, you travel smarter, protect your stuff, and push back with confidence. Don't let TSA's hidden playbook catch you off guard. If this opened your eyes, hit subscribe, drop a comment about the secret that shocked you most, and share this with a traveler you know. And don't miss the next video. We're exposing airport scams that drain your wallet before you even board. Safe travels and stay one step ahead.